Okay, I hear you. So I've been getting a lot of questions about how I make my Ages of Conflict videos. So here's a tutorial. First, you pick a map. It doesn't really matter which map you pick, so pick whatever one you want. I picked Europe for this specific example. I typically maximize everything whenever I play this game. You could, again, set whatever parameters you want. This is just my preferred setup. Google Earth took me to the Balkan region, so this is where our example is going to take place. It doesn't really matter, again, the location, so go nuts. You take a screenshot of the country's details, specifically their name and their flag. Whenever I crop the things, I typically include both the name and the flag, so when I'm editing, I don't forget which flag belongs to which country. Oftentimes, I will forget to take the screenshots, so you have no idea how many videos I've had to scrap just because I forgot to take the screenshot. Anyway, what I recommend you do to get the most out of your wars is let the country build up their treasury, and then make them fight to the death. These two countries' capitals are super close to each other, so this war will be a little short. Oftentimes I will try for a longer war, but this is just a tutorial, so I'm not going to be editing a super long war this time. My editing software of choice is CapCut, however, if you use a different one, then fear not, you can still do this, it's just going to look slightly different for you. The aspect ratio I typically use for my shorts is 9:16, or as displayed on CapCut, the screen with a TikTok logo on it. This really doesn't matter. Oftentimes I would even forget to apply the aspect ratio until the video was already done. And by oftentimes, I mean always. Typically, when I forget this, I would run the finished video back through CapCut with the appropriate aspect ratio. Don't be me. Just, if you want to upload these videos as shorts, apply the aspect ratio before doing the flag stuff. Now I know what you're thinking. This looks so complicated and Mage is so amazing and smart and cool. I will never be as good as he is at this. No one was thinking that. Shut up. But fear not, this is actually really simple. I will show you how to do it. The one thing is, it does get tedious really fast. But when it's done, it looks really good. All you need to do is take that screenshot of the country's name and flag that you have taken, make it an overlay, and put it on the video. Make sure to crop it so it just shows the country's flag and not its name. Shrink it down to the appropriate size. Place it on the border. And adjust the overlay's duration to encompass the entire video. A little trick I do so I don't have to keep placing overlays and cropping them is I would extend the overlay beyond the length of the video, and then I split the bar. I put the brand new bar I just made under the first one, and that basically acts as a duplicate overlay. If your editing software can do this, then I would highly recommend doing it because it'll make the video making process so much easier. Or you can carry out whatever shortcut or function allows for you to duplicate your overlay. Or if you really want to make things difficult, then you can refer to my process for placing the first overlay and do that for all of your flags. Okay, I finally got all of my units placed down. If you want to, then you can dot units around the borders like other mapping videos do. However, I'm not going to be doing that for this one because I'm trying to keep this short just so I can demonstrate my process. I know. Hey, when am I going to learn how to make units move? Hold tight, I'm getting to it. If you want to make your units move, it is actually very simple. First, select the overlay you want to move. Second, find the keyframe button. For my editing software, the keyframe button is the diamond next to the undo arrow. Third, create your keyframe. Typically, the first keyframe is going to be at the very start of the video. And finally, jump forward in the video to the point the border noticeably moves, move your unit to that area, and place your second keyframe. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but CapCut does this for me automatically. Continue to move your unit until the war ends, and then repeat your process for the second unit and the unit after that. And bam, you can now move your units. I would recommend going back to check your work every now and then just to make sure no unit is moving too slowly or too fast. And when you're done animating the flags for the first country, repeat the process for the second country. A good thing to practice is to use your units to tell a story. Like as you see, I have one guy going down over there. His job is to disrupt the supply lines for the maroon country. The unit that you just saw moving to the blue country's capital is there to defend it because the maroon country's units are getting dangerously close. How do I make my countries produce units? I am so glad you asked. As you can see, I got units set up for the green country. I'm not going to set up the lighter green country's units because this is just a demonstration. First thing I do is select a point later in the video to place a unit in the capital. I then create a keyframe when it's placed at the capital, and then the second one later in the video when it starts to help the offensive. What I suggest you do is have the unit be created before they start to push back, and then they go in and help, and when they reach the front line, the pushback begins. Also, you really don't need a super powerful computer for this. My editing software has a limit for how many overlays I'm allowed to have, but generally, I make these videos on my phone, so you can just do it with whatever you have available. Now you guys know how I make these videos. I look forward to see what you guys do with this knowledge. If you found this tutorial helpful, leave a like, tell me that you found this helpful, or leave a link to a video that you made, because I would really love to see it. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, also feel free to let me know.